All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to get through this play pause it rather quickly because this is my third attempt today to do it, and that's not your fault. I tried a new software and it didn't work so well, so we're just going to do it the old tried and true method. So we're going to move through this PowerPoint. I'm going to do it rather quickly. I'll stop at points where I think we need to take special attention, but otherwise we're going to be kind of rocking and rolling through this thing. So this is a fun PowerPoint because of the wordplay. So get it? We're talking about clauses, and this is all about Santa Claus. It's hilarious. You're going to love it. So a clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb, and it may or may not be a complete sentence. We need to remember that just because a group of words even has a subject, verb, and complete thought, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a sentence, because we have, two independent clauses can come together to make a sentence. You can combine them with subordinate clauses to make a sentence. However, they do have the ability to be sentences by themselves. Get it? Sorry, not to do with Santa. Santa Claus does not have an E at the end. And also, the Tim Allen movie, The Santa Claus, is about the clause of a contract, which is also hilarious. So many clause word plays going on right here. So I hope that you can stop laughing hysterically so that we can get back to work. Independent and subordinate clauses, dependent also, are basically whether or not they are complete sentences or not. So an independent clause relies on nothing else. It has a subject, verb, and complete thought. It can stand by itself. Dependent clauses are a little bit more difficult because they cannot stand by themselves. They have subjects and verbs, but cannot stand by themselves. Pretty simplistic. So in the sentence, after I finish studying, I will go to the movies. After I finish has a subject and a verb. I am finished. But it does not constitute a complete thought. It's not a sentence. There are three types of specific subordinate clauses. This is where things get a little bit more difficult. There's three types of subordinate clauses. We have adjective clauses, adverb clauses, and noun clauses. And we'll go over each one. An adjective clause is a clause that modifies a noun or a pronoun. And remember, all of these are clauses, so they're made up of subjects and verbs. So Miss Jackson had shown slides that she had taken in Egypt. That she had taken in Egypt is your clause, and it's modifying slides. Adjective clause begin with relative pronouns, that, which, who, and whom, and whose. So all adjective clauses generally begin with these, and it's going to be important for you to know. And because they're adjectives, they're always going to be clingy. They're always going to cling to or be as close to the thing that they modify as they can be. Generally right after. So if we look at Leonardo da Vinci was the artist who painted the Mona Lisa, it starts with a relative pronoun, who, and is modifying artist, therefore it is an adjective clause. Adverb clauses, much like adverbs themselves, describes verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So if we look at the example, if it does not rain tomorrow, we will go to Crater Lake. It's modifying will go and telling us to what extent you will go. So because it's doing that, it is an adverb clause. They can be introductory factors, which means that if you have a clause in the beginning of the sentence that's separated from the sentence with a comma, it's probably an adverb clause. They are introduced by subordinating conjunctions. I will put a list of these on your Google Classroom. Noun clauses we did not go over last year, so this is our first year going over them, but I mean it's essentially the same idea. It's a dependent clause that's used as a noun. $3 was what Daniel offered for a trinket, so what Daniel offered for the trinket is the clause. It's coming after a linking verb, which means it's most likely going to be a predicate nominative. These can act as noun clauses, subjects, predicates, nominatives, direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of the preposition. So pretty much everything that they can do is any kind of noun. All right, let's try some. So you're going to tell me what's the dependent clause, tell me what it is and why. So we'll do this one together. My friend found the CD that my sister bought me for my birthday. The clause is that my sister bought me for my birthday. It is an adjective clause, and it is an adjective clause because it's modifying CD, and it begins with the relative pronoun that. Do number 2 on your own. Okay, so number 2, we have a dependent clause, as if he were an expert. Type, it's an adverb clause because it's modifying, it's skateboarding by telling us how he was skateboarding. All right, do it again. All right, very good. What sort of present she would want for her birthday? It's a noun clause, and that's a noun clause because it's acting as a direct object. One more time. So it's a dependent clause. It is whoever wins the student council election. It is a noun clause, and it's a noun clause because it's the subject of a sentence. All right, we will practice this tomorrow. I know it's a tough video, or kind of a rushed video. Once again, I had to get it out. We will kind of discuss this a little bit more tomorrow. I will put those subordinate clauses on your Google Classroom, subordinate conjunctions, so that you can write them down in your notes.